Right. Okay, so cruising the Kimberley coast. Start off in Broome, of course, and we have the perfect sunset to send us on our way. It was just a delight. The boat comes in, it does the 10-day trip up and back quite frequently. It comes in about in the mornings, disgorges everybody, cleans up, whatever, and we board around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So the evening was that first evening was a beautiful sunset, which took us on our way. Next day, we start to explore the coast, which is a really interesting area geologically. And these are some of the sites that you see from the boat, which are just extraordinary examples of the geological history of the area. Very ancient geological history. There is also a very huge iron ore mine up there, which I was really surprised to see on one of the islands there. And it's so deep. It goes beneath the sea level where they're mining now. I haven't got a photo of that because I didn't take a photo of that one. This is the next day, of course, up that very famous excursion that a lot of people want to go up there for, which is Horizontal Falls. It's an extraordinary example of beautiful countryside. The clan of Aboriginal people who live up there, however, have said that soon it will not be open to be used as a site for these sorts of sightseeing tours, which I can understand, but it's a loss for us other folk. However, it was a beautiful day and a beautiful excursion, and you might recognise a few of us on the boat. One of the guides we had on the boat was a very good photographer, and so was able to catch some very good photos of us. King Cascades. The time of year we went, which is in May, is the waterfall season. So you actually get to see the waterfalls in action. And this is a place called King Cascades. And the cautionary tale is that a young American part-time model, Ginger Meadows, in 1987, ignored the advice of not putting your feet in, not going for a swim, etc., ignored that advice, decided to go for a swim, and unfortunately was taken by a very large crocodile. And so they do tell you that cautionary tale and make sure that you are following the rules. And then what happens is that the boat nuzzles up to the waterfall and you have a shower, which is just fun. One of the few opportunities to actually get wet up there, apart from the shower. And this, of course, is the most famous thing of all up there is Montgomery Reef. The way it cascades down and off. Now, this is a video. I don't know videos. So I'm hoping the little video of this will work. Yeah. Yes, there you go. And this is the effect that you see on the change of the tide. The boat and the captains really organise the tour so that you get to all these prime places at the right time, so that you get to appreciate all these marvellous events. So that's really, and in the meantime, you're in a little zodiac on this part of the tour, in amongst the reef, and there's turtles and fish, and there was a very large turtle stuck on the reef, in fact, for a while, and they were very concerned about it being stuck up there because at that time of year, which we were quite surprised, was it's still very warm. Some days were 35 and very warm days, even though it's the middle of winter. And so they were quite concerned about that turtle being trapped on the reef and getting too hot. Now I need to move on. I did, but it didn't work. It's just started it again.
Probably it's that.
Thank you. And we had to work hard at enjoying ourselves. This was a sandy cay which appears sometimes. They didn't promise that it would be there, but it was there. So we were able to get off and actually get on dry land for a few minutes. and enjoy a drink together. Every day there was 2 off-ship events. So every day we were able to get off the ship and see something. This is a very famous boab tree. You may see in that bottom corner a inscribing on the tree, which is HMS Mermaid in 1820. And it was a ship that was being used by Captain King, who was navigating and mapping extremely accurately this area of the Kimberley coast. And the quality of the ship that he was using, unfortunately, was very poor. Instead of having cast iron, no,
Instead of having
copper nails, they had iron, and the iron nails had deteriorated, and so they had to take the ship out and careen it, which means turn it over, get the old nails on, and do some repairs. So they had to stop in this bay for about 3 weeks, I think. 3 months, was it? I thought it was 3 weeks. Anyway, so it's called Careening Bay. And in the meantime, they had inscribed on this tree their presence there. Another beautiful area called Big Bay. And these rocks have all these hollows inside. And inside, we get to see the art. And there was a lot of places that we were able to stop and see the art. One of the guest speakers on the ship was a very good historian of Aboriginal art, and there were a number of different styles of art over the millennium, or over the many years, the thousands of years that the Aboriginals have been using these for artwork. And so he was able to describe and show the different styles of art. And in this next one, it doesn't come up too well, but in the bottom left-hand corner, there is actually a blue inscribing of a ship. So they believe this is one of the inscriptions of the first sightings and first contact of Aboriginal folk with the white sailors. These are various styles of Aboriginal art that we saw. And there were a number of different sites where we went. And again, this is the kind of environment where we would find them. Fascinating geology. And beautiful. This is one of the explorations where we went, and we would be in one of the tenders, and they would take us up these rivers exploring, just looking at the landscape, but also looking for the local flora, fauna. Like one of those. And in order to avoid that one, when we went swimming, we had to get off the tender. This is another little excursion. We had to get off the tender, walk around and climb. You can see where we're climbing up to a new freshwater pool where we could actually go swimming. One of the few opportunities my poor husband had to go swimming. He's a swimmer every day, but this was the only opportunity we had. They were very insistent that we stay out of the water all the time. And this is our little watering hole. It was very pretty, and very refreshing. Some of the local flora, a cheese plant in the bottom right-hand corner. The little white ones are native water lilies, I believe. That's what I was told. And the other one, I've forgotten the name of it, and I couldn't find it when I went looking. But it was a very pretty bush and very pretty flower. Hard at work again, enjoying ourselves. Food was excellent, company was fantastic, and the ship was wonderful. Another beautiful area, Wincullion, something. Again, just beautiful, some countryside, very photogenic, great place for photographers. And our last port of call was the King George Falls. And again, we come off the main boat in the metal tenders, and then each of us, groups of us were taken onto the Zodiacs, and we would have another waterfall shower. Quite powerful waterfall shower. There, 80-metre fall, I think it was, they said, yeah. So it was quite significant. And this is just some of the scenery all along the way. A very pretty area, this particular area. And then from there, we went into Darwin. So that was the end of, oh, there's our beach party. It was a very fun day. We ended up with Macarena on the sand. Wow, it's hard work on the sand. So there's a few of us trying to dance on the sand. Very fun. And that concludes my little.
This is just a couple little photos from Jordan. We were there in May of this year. There you go. Just enter.
The resource. That one.
Okay, so I thought I'd present a little map for Jordan because some people don't know where it actually is. So you can see that little tiny bit right in the middle there. Now it's surrounded by a few friends, but it is only a very small country. So a few facts about Jordan. So Jordan's quite small. It's approximately 91,000 square kilometres. So it's not very big at all. They are surrounded by all their friends. And as you know, most of those friends are in the news right now. So we've got Syria, Iraq. Sorry. So we've got Syria, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, who they're friends with. They're not friends with anyone else. We've got Israel, the West Bank, and then closely by is Egypt and Lebanon. So we were very lucky to be able to actually travel there in May. It was very quiet when we got there. You'll see from my photos haven't been photoshopped. There's hardly anyone there. There's hardly any tourists there. It was peak tourist time when we were there in May. So a lot of locals were sort of really engaging, really welcoming, could not complain about locals at all. So yeah, so you're looking at 11.5 million people living in that space. And a lot of it is desert. So you can't imagine how many people live in the cities. Quite a few. Now I've got a couple of little facts up there. Like everything that we purchased, we just times by 2 to convert it to Australian dollars. But food and everything was quite cheap there. So it was quite easy to stay. And of course, you know, a bit of temperature and the best time to travel. And a few historic sites like Petra, Jerash, Wadi Rum, and Qus. We didn't get there because it's actually a little bit too close to Syria border, and we were advised not to go any further than Jerash, north of Amman, for safety reasons. But we did travel all the way down to Aqaba, but I don't have any photos in Aqaba. I don't know what happened to them, but there was only a couple that I found on my stream today, and I just went, oh, I'll just leave Aqaba out of my presentation tonight. So our first stop was in Amman. You can see from this map, we were in Amman for a few days. We went up to Jerash, which can be spelt differently depending on who you're speaking to. We went up there for the day. And it was quite a beautiful place. And then after a couple of days, we left Amman and then headed down. We actually picked up our hire car from the airport. It seemed to be the easiest place. So we went to the airport. And since we're going to go to Mount Nebo, we figured we'd stop at Madabar, which has got some amazing religious historic sites there as well. We just stopped in at one site. And Mount Nebo was really the place where I wanted to stop on our way down to the Dead Sea. All right, so Amman was our first stop. From the moment we hit there, it just wowed us. We could see from our hotel room the Amman Citadel, which is just Roman ruins, and you can actually see them on the other hill. So we're on one hill, they were on the other hill, and I'm just like, this is amazing. We were ready to just get out that night and explore, but, you know, pretty tired after traveling all day. So we decided to rest up and then explore Amman the next day. We were pretty close to Rainbow Street, which is a very big tourist spot. Lots of cafes, lots of shish cafes, and they don't mind smoking wherever they want to smoke. There was smoke billowing out of these rooms. I was like, no, I cannot do that. My husband was quite happy to go in there though and have a smoke. So I was kind of like, no, I'm done with that. I'm not doing that one. Amman's very hilly, we discovered. So lots of hills down. We walked lots of downhills and then just Ubered it back up the hill. Because there's a couple of photos where there's stairs and there's lots and lots. No, I don't know why they did that. But anyway, we won't go back to it.